Fast forward, in come our channel so AGH Politics Avenue. Podcast or set friend because make headlines. Ne jembre na edibi eksomo se ene edi kan especially with my subscribe to the channel. Woman also with my hit notification bell so share na afofran so answer into me kabi. Edibi di ma best say yonko yamanyu simunim. Dr.Tamakloe MPP ni mapa a wonya enye asem koto akra. Na wakano do jasrede se wonefo sema MPP officials no ebinum aye no omo enhwe na omo emfa omo enyina mmra no ntentem so a onua enye asem koto akra na wo kire se oma garamsey yedu omo gina mmra no efa garamsey hu no omo hwe na omo nso enye dai prosecute mu ntem so na entimenye adesuande ema fofo onua yenko ensem nim abra Dr. Tamakloe enu ankasa etimi asusuja ediego no ankasa party ma onua enye asem koto akra yembo ngura nsem
committed against this nation by anyone in the previous administration must be seen. The people must be what do you call it? Must be invited, and then if they are found culpable to the various crimes, they must be prosecuted and sent to court for the court to take a decision. That is one thing that is worrying the ordinary Ghanaian, I'm telling you. Secondly, I have said time and again that to put a stop to the galamsey, that particular problem can be solved only by the military. When I say the military, they have been professionally trained. Now you give them the order that I want this area cleared, and I can assure you that they will do it. But where we have now the so-called NIMO or whatever they call it, a group of civilians and military men, I said right from the answer that it will never work, and you can see that it's not working. If they seriously want to stop galamsey, then they should give the whole tax to the armed forces.
For me, I am paying that, these interdictions have not happened immediately. And so we all should be supporting to make this thing happen. So it's good work they are doing, but a lot more needs to be happening. Are you telling me that now, if we got people from Togo, Burkina Faso coming, attacking us in any particular community, is this how we're going to treat it? But that's what is happening currently. Even with all of these things that we're talking about, you have people from Burkina Faso coming into our country and they are doing cyanidation. They're doing cyanidation. It took the work of the EPA to stop a mass poisoning of a particular community where, the only thing that saved the community was the fact that the pump that was on the borehole had broken down. So I will plead with His Excellency the President, with the ministers, and everybody in authority that the challenge that confronts us as a people is a dire one. And so when we see, semblance of people trying to, get these things to happen because they think they are in a community that the regional minister might not be seeing what they're doing, and they have the audacity to issue, and I will plead, I hope they've shared the permits that has written prospecting so that you can show it on TV so that everybody can see it and see what exactly that these people are doing so far as this galamsey and what the impunity that they are creating. So yes, it's a good point, it's a good step that is being taken to look at it holistically, but the anger that we need to attach to it should be more than what we are seeing currently. And if we don't do it, it is going to eat us all up, and all of us are at risk. Again, as my brother Elikem said, all of us are at risk. One of the challenges against the NIMOS issues again, it's also because the NIMOS had asked when we met His Excellency the President at CSO that they should be given enough money for them to be permanent in some of these communities. If we don't do that and we don't have permanent presence, you're going to have these MCEs and DCEs who are supposed to be the firefighters, who are actually the arsonists. And I've said it, that any DC that has galamsey taking place in his community is either like this one, getting it done, or he's incompetent. And in both ways, they cannot be representatives of His Excellency the President. So we should be out of this, see some change happening. So I would urge all media that we need to unleash the power of our investigative work into every district that has mining going on in there. Let's go and find out who else is doing these things and what else they are doing so that we can bring them up. And so that as we do this holistic thing, we should be able to pack all of these people into jail. And it should not be only the MCs. It also has to be the coordinating directors. It also has to be the finance people who are involved. Everybody who is facilitating, abetting with these economic, environmental criminals, as Act 995 says, are guilty. And we need to be exacting the maximum sanctions so far as this is concerned.
And thank you so much, Ken. But stay with me. I'll also be bringing in legal brain to just delve into the legalities of some of this. Albert Japan will be joining the conversation as well. But if you just tuned in, you're live on Joy 99.7 FM, live on Joy News, live on Joy Prime is our Joy News National Dialogue. Let me come into the studio and let me just go to Nalak, because some of these issues really rest on your bosom. I'm wondering what internal audit mechanisms exist at the local level when it comes to internally generated funds and your accounts.
Okay, we have the internal audit section of every assembly.
Okay.
Okay, so the onus lies on them to delve into this very well. The source of the money, okay, what is being used for. But with the discussion, let me focus on the presiding member and the assembly members.
Okay.
Okay, this is a time every presiding member within, this mining zone, okay, should call for an emergency assembly meeting to review our bylaws, which are very, very important. Okay, the one which need to be repealed, they need to do that. Okay, and the assembly have the powers to establish subcommittees. Okay, there need to be an established subcommittee within the framework of, the discussion. Okay, maybe subcommittee on mining. Okay, for them to have the terms of reference. To delve into all these things, which is very, very important, because the MCE don't have the power to operate by the stroke of the pen or per his powers. Okay, it lies within the bosom of the assembly. Okay, which is being headed by the presiding member. Okay, that's the legislative powers of the assembly, which need to be done. Okay, to me, that's what we need to focus on, that's the presiding members and the assembly members. And please, earlier on you asked whether the powers of the assembly need to be curtailed. To me, I beg to differ. Okay, I beg to differ, because every assembly is being protected by the Constitution. But to me, there should be some surgical operation. People found culpable need to be dealt with. Okay, irrespective, let's put politics aside, because from the discussion it's destroying, the entire environment. Mm-hmm. So people found culpable should be dealt with. People should be used as an scapegoat to serve as a deterrent to others. We need to do that, because you see, we've been playing politics with this left and right, and it's not helping the nation. So to me, that is where we need to focus on. Every presiding member within this mining zone, because it's like the focus is on Amancia East,
Central.
Maybe Amancia Central. But maybe this is happening, all over. And maybe that is just a tip of the iceberg. Maybe this is just your reportage or your exposure. But maybe what is happening in other sectors or other mining zones is even worse than this. So to me, that is where we need to also focus on.
And then does the appointment system of the MMDCs, does it make the MMDCs loyal to the political party rather than to the service to the people?
This is a big discussion which NALAC we have. To me, this is my third time as an assembly member in Avino electoral area. I have been presiding member for Accra Metropolitan Assembly 4 consecutive terms, and now the NALAC president. You see, our voting system, when you go to other countries, you see, it's like every MC is loyal to the appointing authority.
Exactly.
Loyal to the appointing, whether you like it or not. Because if your iPhone strings is attached to the appointing authority, you are careful of what you do. Okay? So to me, we should change that voting system that maybe the president will appoint and the honors relies on the assembly members to what? To vote for the MCE. No, to me, they need, we need to look at the other way around, okay? How do you call it? The geographical description of your assembly, they need to vote for you. But I don't believe that, I don't see that the assembly members should continue to be voting for the MCA. You know, there are a lot of things that are involved, which maybe we cannot be discussing.
No, but tell us the things involved so that we know how to deal with the issue. You are there.
Yeah.
You're feeling the pinch.
Yeah.
What are the challenges you're facing?
You see, some of the challenges has to do with one, the assembly members who vote for the MCA. You see, as a nation, we behave like ostriches. That is the fact. On paper, they will say that our assembly is non-partisan, but it's partisan.
It is partisan.
It's highly partisan, whether you like it or not. It is even highly partisan than even what we see at the parliament. I can tell you on authority. Highly partisan. Every assembly member. See, the first time I entered the assembly, okay, they say, what caucus do you belong to? It is there. What caucus do you belong to? And you must align yourself. Prior to me entering into the assembly, I was working with some international NGOs. So I know that I won my assembly or won the trust of my people based on my NGO experience, because we've done a lot in my electoral area. Based on that, I went to the assembly. Okay, but when I got there, what caucus do you belong to? Either you belong to caucus A or caucus B. It is there. It's established. So every assembly member, it is there. So that is one of the challenges. So it's like I say, we are behaving like what? Ostriches as a nation. It is there. So when it comes to the assembly voting system, that is why in some places, okay, when we have in quote more pro-NDC assembly members, okay, and they are of the majority, they can sabotage whoever the government has appointed, maybe who does not belong to their party. It is there. Okay, so this, is going to be a national discussion. But to me, that voting system, we need to change it. And really? I think in one of, we went to a program that Domani Mahama was there. So I think this is the last time that MMDCE will be voted for what we have now. So we are looking forward to that.
And let me come to Alexander.
You see,
how do we deal with it? Should we take the powers from the voters and probably, or should we even consider a system where we stop the appointments, we stop the voting process, and we look at how we can restructure the whole system?
See, that is going to aggravate the issues. The MMDCEs are the head of the security. They are in charge of the security. And we're having this national dialogue, this discussion, because some of them have been found to be involved in this illegal mining. That's how come we are there. And the power for them to be involved in this galamsey is because they control the security. They are the head of the Security Council. And so they decide when to move in and when not to move in. If somebody gets arrested, they are able to intervene and say, look, this person, let's pardon him. And they are able to facilitate the institution of some of these taxes that are illegal on illegal activities. Now, if you want us to look at the fact that is it possible for this to be solved when they are voted for by the populace, that is going to be worse, because they do these things because they make money. And if they are really going to get into elections like we do, then they need more money. And they are going to have more power because they control the security to exact the money from these illegal activities. And so that should be a different conversation. I think that government should come clean. Government should be very open. Government should come hard on its appointees. The minister sits in Accra. There's very little he can do with the people in the various jurisdictions, the various assemblies. You understand? And we have talked about Kano. I have talked about my assembly. In my assembly, you didn't have to go with a hidden camera. My MCE has receipts that with the inscription, fine for illegal mining. And he justifies it. And so for me, my accepting to be on this program was to put at rest what is illegal mining and what is legal mining, what is an illegal activity, and what, because this thing has gone viral to an extent that sometimes you want to believe that, oh, are you the wrong person? Are you the one doing wrong? You understand? So once they have the power to control the security and to control the mining, we've talked about Tano, we've talked about Brim Central, we've talked about Amancia Central. Currently, the Amancia Central PM and the Assembly is pushing back, in quotes, making nonsense of the expose, trying to justify the fact that, oh, this is an ordinary tax. But look, beneath, it is galamsey, facilitating galamsey.
Should we consider even amending the Local Governance Act so that we take some of the powers away from the local assembly? Is that the way to deal with the problem?
You see, if the MCs are committed to what they do, if they really want to represent the president, and the president's desire is that, look, if we want to do mining, let's do it in the proper way. And they will not hide under any, shrewd bylaws, because bylaws of assemblies do not override on national laws. Galamsey is a crime. It is a crime. And there are a lot of national laws that go against galamsey. And so if you have a very skewed bylaw somewhere and you stand on that bylaw to make money from galamseyers, and then when you are caught, you say it is found in our bylaw, you are not representing the president well, because the president will not allow that. Nobody is against mining, but if people have to do mining, let them do it properly. And if there are taxes that must be appropriated to you, you make them, and it becomes legal. But you don't charge people. Look, who says an assembly has power to even take money directly from offenders? You have to take them to court. Is that not the case? If you have found somebody, even this some people, sanitation, if you catch somebody, if you arrest somebody on sanitation offense, you process the person for court. And it's the court that has the power to fine people. So where is this coming from that assemblies are given receipts for illegal activities? And that is my concern. Look, you may not like this government, but I am on the local government committee. So if you look at the amount of money that have been sent to the assembly, you want to ask, why, what are they going to do with this 3,000, 15,000 that they are collecting, if it is not for their pockets? If you heard the minister was saying that the bigger trucks, sometimes they spoil the roads, and how many assemblies have used their money to construct roads? How many of these assemblies have ever used their money, their locally generated funds, to construct roads? They always keep depending on government. And why should you take money and allow people to destroy our forests, to destroy our rivers? Something that would affect everybody and affect all of us. I mean, if we have to change the laws to take the power from them, so be it. If government is actually looking at naming and shaming, it shouldn't just rest there. I mean, you are concerned about the fact that you called for the interdiction of the Amancia Central MCE, and he's still opposed. Yeah, he's still opposed because others have done worse, and they are still opposed.
So we should let the impunity continue? I'll come to Reverend Father, because you say this is war. It appears we're losing this war from within. How can we fix this?
You see, if laws don't appear to have the force that they in fact possess, they are of no use to anybody. So the laws must be seen to be binding, and they must bite. People who are found to be guilty must be arrested, prosecuted, jailed. It has to happen. If it is seen to be a disincentive to be an enemy of the state, very few people will be, motivated to do it. But if it appears that you can do it and get away with it, then you will do it. So I say, let the punishment that goes with infringing upon the laws of our land be biting, be swift, and be unforgiving. Because as I say once again, those who do it care only about themselves. And in fact, they don't care if all of us die and they fill their pockets. So let the laws bite and let us all, let them know that those who are doing this don't look for our good, and we must make them know that we don't like them for it. So that is one. But the other thing is this. We must also agree that somehow the psyche and the conscience of the Ghanaian needs reforming. Because there are some who might not be perpetrators, but who for some strange and warped reason become sympathizers. Well, I mean, somehow the person who is killing us, you are sympathizing for some strange reason. So it's either we don't understand what is happening, or that our consciences and our psyches have been ill-formed to the extent that, a death culture is what is prevailing. And we need to inform ourselves or reform ourselves to see evil as evil, bad as bad, and be seen to be rewarding that which is good. It is the only way forward.
Let me come to Elikem, because you're on the ground as well with NIMAS and even the Forestry Commission. We're just looking at the impunity with which some of these illegal miners are destroying our water bodies. But now they have legal backing from the assemblies. The Assembly District Task Force appear to be providing security for them. In our documentary, we found out that the police only take raids and undertake raids in areas where you do not produce your receipts. And so it's a big problem for you, is it not?
Yes, and thank you. It is one reason why I must commend the Ashanti Regional Minister. In part of his concluding statement, he made it clear that he is calling for the various, is it bylaws? Or to tease out and see properly what has gone wrong. Because mind you, this is not in any way to justify.
We ain't someone who so channel so. I mean, and I was so Jimmy. Oh, the Senate so body and the Dumbi Adumiania. You better sign a bell.